Welcome back to the Sports Daily Early Look. We'll be taking a look at the two features at Belmont. So racing on Saturday, the Belmont Oaks and also the AQUANITA Stakes. Taylor Cortland joining you, as is Digby Beecham.
Good morning to you, TC. Looking forward to these two features over the 2,000 metres out there at Belmont as we get to see the three-year-olds hopefully reach somewhere close to the peak, but we do know that there is another 2,200 metre race to come after this.
We'll kick it off with the Belmont Oaks race number 7 on the program for the 3-year-old fillies, run at listed level over the 2,000 metres. Pretty confident we'll be racing on a good 4.
It looks that way. The weather, albeit it is cold, it is dry at the moment. So you would think, given that track did go from a 6 to a 5 yesterday, that day being Wednesday, it wouldn't be a shock if we got to a 4 come the weekend.
Rusty Dreams is your $2.50 favourite at the time of recording. It's closing in at $3. Noteworthy $4.20. Antique Miss at $11, $21 and up the remainder. We'll take a deep dive into the form of Rusty Dreams, who steps up to the 2,000 metres on the back of a brilliant win last start in the Belmont Guineas over the 1,600, where she reeled off the best final 6, 4 and 200 metre splits of that race. Chris Parnham sticks. And if she settles at the 2,000 metres, she's going to be awfully hard to beat again.
Yeah, she certainly is. And the market loves her, doesn't it? It really, really zeroes in on her each and every time she goes around. Now, she's up for her 7th start this campaign. She's got an economical barrier. She did settle the other day, and then we saw what she was able to do. Once she had spat the bit out, she produced a paralysing finishing burst. And off that, you can understand why she heads up the market. In saying that, I think it's closing in and noteworthy, deserving of being in and around the quote that they are. And I think the market's spot on. These are the 3 horses who are likely to fight out the finish.
Does she have the best turn of foot in the race?
It would seem so. It would seem so, given what we have seen her do over shorter distances than this. She is getting to the 2,000 metres for the first time. The same can be said about Noteworthy. She's only 3rd up in her campaign. And interestingly, though, Noteworthy ran around in a graduation race the same day as Rusty Dreams ran around in the Belmont Guineas. And for her final 600 metres, Rusty Dreams ran considerably quicker. Overall, though, the time that Noteworthy ran was effectively a length quicker for the mile that she ran in. So the form lines Noteworthy are pretty solid.
How do you see the race being run? And if it is a slow run race, that horse with the best turn of foot at the end of it, you'd say would be most advantaged?
Yeah, you would think so. That horse is Rusty Dreams. In saying that, it's closing in produced a paralysing burst of her own. Now, that was over 2,000 metres on a heavy surface against some opposition, which you could say is perhaps a little bit inferior to what she meets there on the weekend, particularly at the pointy end of this race. So there's some question marks on her. What we do know is she has ticked that 2,000 metre box.
It's closing in, as you mentioned, is a winner of 4 of her last 5 starts, including 2 last victories in graduation 60-plus company. The form hasn't quite stood up from 3 weeks ago. 6 subsequent runners for just the 1 place getter, but I think that performance was much more about the winner than those horses in behind her. She was dominant.
Yeah, she destroyed them, didn't she? And William Pike clearly clicks with her. He clicks with most horses, to be fair. She's going to get a lovely run, and you can see him peeling her out, getting her into clear air, and then pressing the button. And you know that she's going to tick that 2,000 metre box there again on the weekend. She's done so previously. You can understand why she's around that $3 quote now, and it wouldn't be a shock if she meets with support come Saturday.
Absolutely, and a horse that has already been supported early in the market. Noteworthy, as you mentioned, ran really good time last start in graduation 60+, hits the 2,000 metres 3rd up this preparation, so that might be her little bit of point of difference as opposed to the top 2 in the market. She still has somewhere to go this preparation. She's not deep into her campaign.
No, she is not, and she looks like the 2,000 metres is going to suit. I'll ask you a question, TC. Those 2 wins, the first up win came on a 7, a soft 7. The second up win, again, authoritative, came on a soft 6. If she encounters a good 4, does that pose any concern for you?
I'm hoping those 2 runs are more a sign of her coming on this preparation as opposed to running on a soft 6 and a soft 7. That's the way I've looked at it. And from gate number 1, I think the worst case scenario is she's going to be 3 back the fence.
Yeah, exactly right.
She's going to be tucked away, and she's got a lethal turn of foot.
Yeah, she has.
She's going to be able to show that off.
Yeah, exactly right. Look, they look the 3. Is that fair to say? Those are the 3 that we're working around?
Can't make a case for anything else. I could put I Love Your Smile in for a place at really big odds. She hits a good track. She's won 2. Her 2 career wins have been on a good track. So maybe getting back on top of the ground She is a Sebring, which sort of goes against everything
Yeah.
you know about the breeding, but she might be able to show something.
Yeah, look, if I was to make a case for one other in this race, I respect what you're saying about I Love Your Smile. Maybe Seswa from that low draw, senior rider, a very much informed senior rider, and Brad Parnham takes over. But for mine, it's those three. And the market, as I said, I think it's spot on.
Yeah, I think the market's spot on. So in that point of view, I'll just be having $50 on Noteworthy. Maybe a touch more value than the other two runners, but there's not much in it. Not surprised if Rusty Dreams it's closing in on Noteworthy win.
Yeah, look, I've settled on it's closing in, so we're both snubbing the favourite, which is fraught with danger. She's a really good fill-in. Michael Lane and his team have done an outstanding job with her. She continues to race at a high standard. She does not know how to run a bad race. She's had 7 goes, 5 wins, 2 placings, so she's never been out of the money, and you'd be shocked if she's out of the money come Saturday. But I'll have my $50 on it's closing in.
Race number 8 on the program on Saturday at Belmont. The boys have their turn at the 2,000 metres, the AQUANITA Stakes. It jumps at 21 minutes past 4. 240 upper limits is your favourite. Demolish at 310. Mojo's Luck 11. Costa's Crown at 13. Heading the remainder is Manhattan Strip at $14. It looks like there's a little bit more top-end tempo here, maybe just due to the fact that there might be some horses that need to find a spot in the first 6 in run, but there's no dominant leader, I don't think, here.
We were with Upper Limits a fortnight ago. What did we make of his performance in the Belmont Guineas? He was afforded every hope, I thought, by William.
Oh, he's run very well.
Yep.
I think over the 1,600 metres, needs to step up to the 2,000. You'd say you'd be confident he gets the 2,000 metres. He's a horse that needs another win.
He does. In saying that, he's now, I think, 3 times stakes place. Like, he's a very capable horse. He is finding it hard to win. I just thought here, unlike the other day, it just maps a little bit different. William, you would think, is probably going to have to ride him a little bit conservatively early. Therefore, it's going to be position advantage to Demolish, who is second up. And I thought he was pretty good the other day. I thought he was actually pretty good fresh at the mile.
Absolutely. It was the first time we'd seen him for a couple of months after a really good campaign in the autumn. The last time he was in and around this distant range Demolish, he was in the JC Roberts Stakes. He finished second behind another Chino. And from gate number 4, I think he's going to get a beautiful run and be extremely difficult to beat.
He's got that good autumn 3-year-old form, as you've touched on. 2,000 metres. It's interesting. We spoke to Stephen Parnham 2 or 3 weeks ago about Demolish, and he said, look, I think around that mile 18 is probably his best trip. He gets the 2,000 here. We know that he has run second in a Mel Vista, so you could argue that he's going to be okay at the 2,000, but it was just interesting when Stephen said that, and he said, no, he's ready to run a good race. He's got a good turn of foot. What distance he races as a 4 and 5-year-old will be fascinating, but I think from a map perspective, a tempo perspective, and a class perspective, he's the horse who's going to be hardest to beat here.
He's got the most class in the race.
I think so, although Upper Limits is raw. There's something there. There's something there with Upper Limits. He's a big boy. You would think the 2,000 isn't going to be an issue, albeit Jeremy Easthope has mentioned also perhaps 1,600 is as far as he wants. So there's a couple of unknowns here regarding some of the fancies in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if Upper Limits, if he is able to win this race, he can go on and win 3 or 4 in a row next preparation. He just needs that circuit breaker, so to speak.
Yeah, he needs a kill, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a 2-horse race. You could make a case for Mojo's Luck. Had no luck last start.
No.
Belmont Guineas was held up at the top of the straight, hit the line well. Costa's Crown would be a mighty effort to win at 2,000, stepping up greatly in distance. Outside of that, maybe Secret Identity, but the draw really hurts his chances in this race. Probably going to have to go a long way back.
Yeah, agree. Costa's Crown, off a heavy, backs up, out to 2,000, so there's a question mark there, but he's got miles in the legs. That's one thing that's going to work in his favour, but I think a lot of people will be either Team Demolish or Team Upper Limits.
I'm Team Demolish. I thought Demolish would be favourite for the race. Gets a beautiful run, gets the map advantage on Upper Limits, should come on naturally from that run after the freshen, and as you mentioned, that 3-year-old autumn staying form, I think that's a little bit stronger than what he faces there on Saturday.
I'm with you. I'm team demolish. So we've jumped off upper limits. We know how that works out. Upper limits will probably bounce back. I hope for Jeremy Eastope's sake he runs a really good race. I'm sure he will. But for mine, demolish from the map and what we've seen previously over this distance range and beyond, he's the one that I want to be with.
If you are betting at Belmont on Saturday, do it with Tab Touch and always do it responsibly.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.